As those of you who've watched us know, we've been talking for a long time about whether or not this election season was going to be like 1964 or 1968. It's really been the whole major part of the mantra of our election season. After yesterday, with the the violence at the Trump campaign in campaign rally in Chicago, it smells like 1968. Our concern has been for a while that violence was going to pick up, and it's really happening. Now, look, it's not 1968 yet. In 68, well, we lost Dr. King, who got assassinated. RFK was assassinated, Dr. Robert Kennedy. George Wallace was paralyzed from the waist down, shot here in Maryland. And there were riots in the streets. Pegasus ran for president. Chicago was a total riot. The 68 convention the Democratic convention in Chicago was also a total riot. And it was just horrible. It was horrible in the streets. Nixon's the one came up after the election, Richard Nixon for 68. And you look at old shots then, you had hard hats fighting the kids. And it was just really pretty crazy then. And let's try to draw the parallels. It's nothing like that now. Luckily, it's nothing like that now. But what this problem last night at the Trump campaign rally shows is that we're right on the edge. People have been screaming and yelling and angry for the longest time. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody has to know that. Of course, that's Iggy Pop's favorite. My favorite album by Iggy Pop, blah, blah, blah. Great album produced by David Bowie, though I don't think it was Iggy's favorite. And we're all talking about people being angry and this. So we all know that. You can go back on our videos for years and our writings for years before that. We've all been talking about how angry and upset people are, and we all know the reasons or lots of the reasons. That's no excuse. Right now we have a Republican presidential candidate, Donald Trump, who is tapping into this hostility and aggression and anger in American politics, and he's doing a really, unfortunately, great job of it. And he's running it and he's going with it. But what he's not doing is tamping things down. And who am I to tell him? But it's a bit obvious that that's really what he should be doing at this point. Calming people down, not saying he's going to punch somebody, not encouraging people to get violent, not encouraging people to throw people out, not encouraging any of this. He really should stop, but he won't because he's Donald Trump and he'll do what he wants to do. At the same time, we have the left who is just as bad. Just as bad. It reminds me of the universities where people who come in and the students don't want to hear what the people have to say. They just go take over the stage, start screaming and yelling so nobody can hear from them. What's the difference here? All these protesters came in. They weren't quiet. They weren't civil disobedience. They're showing civil disobedience. They weren't being smart and cool and making a scene while not making a scene. No, they came in and their job is to shut Trump up and to shut it down. And all they were proud of was that there was no rally yesterday. Now, how sick is that? The First Amendment allows, and you all seen our video earlier about the First Amendment and how great it is. The First Amendment allows people to say what they want to say, absent fire in a theater. It doesn't give people the right to shut anybody down. It doesn't give somebody else the right to encourage violence. And that's what we have going on with the Trump campaign and the left wing. And what's even sadder is you listened to MSNBC yesterday and all they did was make excuses. Totally. Rachel making excuses. Chris Matthews making excuses for the way the protesters acted. And then you go and listen to Fox and you hear, well, it's all First Amendment with Trump. And hey, the only one who really seems to have a problem with it is Greta. And Greta Van Susteren, wasn't too sure what to make of all this and how Trump was handling it. But if you listen to him, all he did was make excuses on all the stations, and the stations take up their positions. And it's nobody's sitting there going, they're both wrong. Why can't the protesters get up, have signs, and stand there silently and put all the signs up? Or all should stand up and turn their back to him and not sit down. And then if they get attacked, then everybody will see what's going on. But if you get attacked because you're throwing the finger and you're screaming and you're yelling and you're trying to take over the stage, it's not going to work. It's only going to make the Trump supporters stronger. It's going to make them more steadfast in what they want to do. And you're going to be giving him a much better chance to win the presidency. And then on the other side, Donald Trump is just It's like I've never seen anything like it. He wants this. He loves this. He can sit there and deny it and say all he wants, but this is what he wants. He wants to inflame and just get people moving. Whatever happened to the silent majority? They're gone. This is a really tough situation. This could lead to a 68. It sure smells like 68. I bet this is 68. We talked earlier about, in some of the earlier videos, about the violence. Could there be some real assassinations? Gosh, I hope not. Guns are everywhere. Everybody's using them. It's crazy. Look, this country will work it out. It always does. But let's be upfront about what's going on. We got two sides that are loggerheads, and everybody's being encouraged by the cable news channels to take sides. And nobody's being encouraged to say, I'm an American. I want to make this work, and we're going to get this talked out and worked out. Let's go, man. Let's get moving with this election. Things are going to get crazier and crazier. Also, of course, Tuesday, we said by March 15th, we're going to know. We're going to know. We'll be talking with you before then. Let's keep watching. Peace.